Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands together and rest those butts for the one, the only, Cuphead. Don't deal with the devil. Boy, you shredded weak. Let's stop bumping guns and let's ring-a-ding-ding with this winding. Once upon a time, in a magical place called Inkwell Isle, there were two brothers named Cuphead and Mugman. They lived without a care under the watchful eye of a wise Elder Kettle. One day, the two boys wandered far from home, and despite the Elder Kettle's many warnings, ended up on the wrong side of the tracks and entered the Devil's Casino. Inside, Cuphead and Mugman soon found themselves on a winning streak at the craps table. "Hot dog," explained King Dice to the casino's sleazy manager. "These fellas can't lose." "Nice run, boys," laughed the newcomer. The brothers guessed it was the casino's owner, the devil himself. "Now how about we raise the stakes?" he suggested, with a toothy grin. "Win one more roll and all the loot in my casino is yours," the devil boomed. "But if you lose, I'll have your souls. Deal?" Cuphead, blinded by easy riches, nodded and grabbed the dice for a throw. "Good gosh, Cuphead, no!" cried Mugman, for he understood the danger. It was too late. "Because," laughed the devil while slamming the floor, "you lose." The brothers trembled in fear as he loomed over them. "Now about those souls." The brothers pleaded for their very lives. "There must be another way to repay you," Mugman stammered. "Yes, please, mister," Cuphead added. Perhaps there is," the devil snickered, pulling out a parchment. "I have here a list of my runaway debtors. Collect their souls for me and I might just pardon you two." "Now get going," the devil roared, kicking the boys out most rudely. "You have till midnight tomorrow to collect every one of those souls. Otherwise, I'll be the one collecting yours." Cuphead and Mugman were terribly frightened and ran away as fast as they could. "Come on, Mug," panted Cuphead. "We have to find the other kettle. He'll know what to do." I realized those voices switched halfway through, but we're just gonna roll with it.
"What a fine pickle you boys have gotten yourselves into. I don't want to be called the devil, but if you refuse, I can't bear to imagine your fates. You must play along for now, collect those contracts, and you'd best be ready for some nasty business. Your debtor friends won't be very friendly once you confront them. In fact, I expect they'll transform into terrible beasts. And take these potions, they won't hang you out to dry. It'll give you the most remarkable magical abilities. Now go to my writing desk and use the link out there. You'll need to prepare yourself for a scrap."
With all of that funniness out of the way, this is Cuphead, one of my personal favourite games that has come out in recent years. And as I play through this tutorial stage, basically this game is all about running, shooting, and jumping around, slapping things whenever you see them. In this moment here where I'm slapping them a few times, I just wanted to make sure that the way that I was recording it was not too laggy, so that I'd be able to parry properly, because parrying in this game is very important. You have to make sure constantly that you're able to parry pink objects if you want to use the super attacks, which basically, as we'll see here, you can press X on my Switch controller here, you can unleash a powerful attack if you've got a card in the bottom corner of the screen. But yeah, I didn't really feel like explaining too much of this tutorial because it's pretty explanatory. You run, you shoot things, and we'll be seeing plenty of levels as we go along. But yeah.
"You'll have to lay out all those debtors to move on. Don't shake a leg."
So that is Elder Kettle. He is Cuphead's grandpa and Mugman's grandpa as well. He just sort of like helps you out there. It's a cute little character. But welcome to Cuphead. This is Inkwell Isle, and I'll say right now, I love this game. I love its music, its animation, everything. Meet this kid. Hey fellas, looks like you're in for it now, eh? Well, I used to be the same way, always getting into trouble. Running, jumping, shooting, and I prefer just strolling around and going to the pictures. But hey, let me give you a hand. Take this. So we got some coins here. It's quite nice. Will help us out as we go straight to the shop to cash some of them in. Now, ordinarily, I would go for the smoke bomb, which allows you to be invisible when you dash, but after doing a test playthrough on this game a few times, I found Roundabout, which is one of my personal favourite weapons, is the way to go with this. So, as I go through it here, you can set up to 2 weapons at a time, and you can switch between them at any moment with the press of a button. And what we've got at the moment is the natural pea shooter, which is alright. It shoots across the screen, and the super attack does very good damage, but I don't really like it that much for the long run. I usually use it for the first couple of levels, and then as soon as I can get better weapons, I just stop using it. But yeah. So as you can see, just sort of running around shooting, and my best advice for this game is to be as aggressive as possible. I think that you really want to try and deal damage before they can deal damage to you. The first few levels aren't too bad, although I will say right now, to jump the gun a bit, I've got a really bad habit in Cuphead of having a really rough time in the first early levels and getting better as the game goes on. But this playthrough, it's sort of on and off, where I do either really well at one point or I do horrible the next, so look forward to that. Anyway, yeah, so anything pink you can slap and you'll be able to bounce off of them, you'll build your super meter. It's very useful, and if you're after the perfect score for all A rank, which will get you a black and white filter, I believe anyway, you want to make sure you slap all of them. And it's also just good to do it because it can get rid of hazards as well. So the parry maneuver is very important, and it's something I really like in this game. It creates sort of like a physical connection between you, the player, and the projectiles coming at you, rather than just having to dodge everything. You can actually counter-attack. But yeah, I'm just showing off the roundabout here, which, instead of shooting as far as the pea shooter, it bounces backwards like a boomerang, but it covers a good range behind you, so it's very useful when you've got enemies all around you. And unfortunately here, while I was doing really good throughout the level, not getting hit at all, I just sort of got sloppy near the end. But we make it through, we're right at the end now, it shouldn't be a problem, just get past this one last plant, and there we go, first level done. Bravo! But yeah, that's the first level of Cuphead, just sort of wanted to do the first platforming level to get some coins before we do anything else. And this is my first big tip of the game, really try and get coins. I think the more items you can buy early on, the more you'll help yourself for the harder bosses later on. I definitely recommend try and collect all of the coins if you can, because items can be quite expensive in this game, so the more coins you collect, obviously the easier you'll get the things you want. Now again, normally I would pick Smoke Bomb, and I really recommend it if you're not recording, but since I am recording, I figured something like Chaser, sorry, would be better. I fell down, that's why I thought it was charged. But yeah, the Chaser is like a homing projectile, which we'll be using in a bit. And as you can see here, I thought I'd just sort of like switch around because I don't really use pea shooter enough. I find Roundabout personally to be a better pea shooter, despite its weaker range forward. I find that because you can move around and protect yourself from behind, it's more useful overall. I also found the damage output to be a little bit better, but I don't know if that's just me. But yeah, here's Goopy Legrand in Ruse for an Ooze. Quite the slobberknocker of a name, eh? Well, as you can see, this guy is basically designed to look like one of the Dragon Quest slimes. If anyone doesn't know what Dragon Quest is, it's a really old RPG. I get a bit sloppy here because I was sort of trying to get used to the lag that I was having, and you'll be seeing it a lot in this playthrough where I just do really weird things because on my screen it wasn't all everything was moving at sort of a choppy rate at times. So sometimes I just couldn't time it quite right. Like here with the pink question marks that you just saw, trying to parry them was a nightmare for me on some of these attempts. Because to go behind the scenes a bit, this game took me ages to record because of just a lot of mistakes and a lot of failed playthroughs, but this is the final result that you're seeing now. So as you can see in his second phase, he just gets a lot bigger and he covers a lot more of the area, but again, you just gotta sort of like dash around him, the dash you do by pressing Y on the Switch controller and it can really help you out. The good thing with Cuphead is if you don't like the control scheme, you can always change it and readjust to whatever suits you. But with that phase down, we're on the final phase now, which I really love this because it's such a troll moment where you think he's dead, but oh no, it's the grave itself actually out to attack you. And I'm going to be saying this a lot throughout this playthrough, but it's worth constantly repeating. I adore this soundtrack. Cuphead is, in my opinion, the second best soundtrack of all time of any game. Really big claim there because I love video game music, but honestly, I adore Cuphead's music. There's not really a lot of tracks in the game I don't actually like. It's just that good. Like, it's all just so, like, catchy and funky and fun to listen to. But yeah, there we go. So, I sort of just read through the dialogue, but the basic premise of this game is that we're defeating enemies so that we can steal contracts that they all owe to the devil. Be gone, spirits! Oh wait, you're real. I was about to hit you with the old parent move. That's how you deal with ghosts around here. Only a nitwit tries shooting someone who ain't really there. Speaking of not being places, what you fellas mind moving on? You're spooking the fish. So this little lady here is just telling us to make sure that we parry ghosts, because obviously we can't shoot them, which is helping you out for these mausoleum levels where you get your super attacks. So when I say super, I mean like, we have a basic super attack at the moment, but when you get enough cards on the bottom screen, about 5, you can do like a mega attack, like a big super attack that does more damage or does a really good thing if it's not damage, but it uses up all of the cards at once. So sometimes it's worth just saving them rather than using them all up, and other times you want to use them up because maybe the little super attacks might help you out in the long run. But yeah, just sort of slapping around the ghosts, and again I will say this was a bit harder for me recording than playing it normally because there's just moments of lag and it would be choppy at times, but you know, I gave it my all to finally get the right recording quality for this. And there we go! Victory! Gosh, I don't know how to thank you boys for saving me. Why, my manners, I didn't even introduce myself. I'm known as a legendary Chalice. Pleased to meet you. I was searching for magic and got trapped by those ghosts. Speaking of magic, is that this gift that you hold? Yeah, and I skipped this bit because it's if you hold the A button down when you get the magic ability from the Chalice woman, for some reason your character jumps up in the air. But yeah, so there's our first super attack. Yeah, you must forget the magical archetypes to be equipped. Yeah. So there we go. So basically, the first super attack allows us to shoot a big, strong energy beam, which will do a lot of damage, but again, if you don't want to waste all of your super attack, then maybe you're better off using the small cards. Here we go, the Root Pack, Botanic Panic. Now, we're only on the second boss, but I'll just say it right now, this is one of my favourite boss fights, one of my favourite music tracks in the entire game. I adore this boss. I think it's a great introduction because it's not too hard, but it's hard enough where even as someone who's played this game plenty of times, I still struggle a bit at times with some of his attacks on certain phases. And what I really love, which I'll show off in this, is that after you defeat this little potato guy, if you don't attack the onion and you just stand there, he'll be all happy. And you'll get a different type of boss fight to what you would normally when you fight him. So I thought I'd just show this off. So you get this little radish that sort of chases you around. And what I love about this is it makes this boss fight, which some people find too easy, a lot trickier. And I quite like that. I like that there's like a different, as well as the difficulty option that you get for beating the game on regular, you also get the secret harder bosses as well on a couple of boss fights. And I will be showing them all. But yeah, so I thought this time I'd just fight him normally. Mind that's just a guinea pig. Chewing on his little wooden house. But yeah, so with the Botanic Panic, I find that the best thing I can recommend for this is Roundabout does a lot of damage, and I also, as I show here, I really recommend trying out your new super attack. So if you can, try and come here when you've got, oh no, I think it's on the next attempt, I think I die here. Yeah, I die here. Yeah, so on the next attempt, as I'll show, use your super attack in phase 2, because it makes the onion much easier. Because with the onion, you don't have much room to move around, since his tears will drop down on you, and they can track you around really easily. But yeah, first phase is really easy. You can just sort of like get your parries. Watch out for his third attempt at shooting the little potato spuds at you though, because the third round they're much faster than the first 2 rounds. So it can be catch you off easily. There you go. There's my super attack fired off, and you can see here that it really did a lot of damage to him because we get through this phase really quickly compared to what it would normally take. Like, that was like barely even a boss phase there. So yeah, so the Carrot Top is always my favourite part of this fight, because it's sort of, this is the typical difficulty of Cuphead boss fights, where it's much harder and you're constantly on your toes doing things, whereas the first 2 phases are sort of like your introduction boss. But I like that this game, it doesn't start off too hard, but it starts off hard enough that a regular, like someone who's not used to this sort of game, or sort of retro difficulty games, will find it really challenging. Which I like, because I like the difficulty of this game overall. I think it's really fair for the most part. And there's only a couple of bosses and a couple of levels that actually do infuriate me. But you will be seeing plenty of that as we go through. So there we go. With just a few more horseshoes to the head, we take out the root pack in Botanic Panic. So yeah. Now, one thing that I will say is this isn't going to be a perfect run, as you can clearly see by these first few levels that I've made mistakes, I've died, or I've lost some health. But I didn't want it to be sort of like a perfect playthrough. I wanted something that was more realistic and more sort of like just playing at my own level, where I get through it, but it takes however long it takes. But yeah, let's meet this guy. Harumph, I'll be a monkey's uncle if I'm my moolah in the bank. For all I know, the devil probably controls the place too. They never get a hold of my gold if I spread it all around. And if some Joe happens to find a coin or two, good for him. That's what I say. Harumph. Yeah, so he's just telling you there's coins in different levels. Next time, we'll be playing more Cuphead and seeing what the rest of this island has to show. So, thanks for watching.